tell that a lot of work beyond just cultural buildings, a lot of spiritual work has gone in here, and you can feel it. And you can also see it in everybody that I actually talked with. I mean, even to the little kids. I saw some of them running around yesterday, and it was so beautiful. So, yes, I would agree with you that a lot of people have to actually see the vision and understand what is going on here and actually put it out there to the world. You did mention, though, that a lot of Yoruba people already know, or a lot of Nigerians know this, and then they talk. Um, I would personally say that, like my colleague mentioned when we started talking, I think there is an opportunity to actually increase the awareness. What we think they know actually may be very, very limited. It takes being here twice, I've been here yesterday and today, to really digest, and also the opportunity to speak with you to really digest the vision of the um, the place. So I know you did mention that South Carolina is significant. There's a significance to choosing the location, which is beautiful. I didn't know that up until you mentioned. However, can I ask why the name Oyo Tunji?
Oh, because the Odu Iretesa. And just in case you might be reporting back to the Oni of Ife, you have to let them know that it's deeper than just creating a name. It goes back to Iretesa, it's Odu. This is Ifa Odu. This is to come from the holy scriptures of the Yoruba people. Oyo Tunji basically means that when those twins left Africa and came to America to establish this new Oyo, it would be fitting to call it New Oyo, wouldn't it? That's what Oyo Tunji means. And technically, it means New Oyo, or Oyo rises again.
It rises,
Oyo
yeah.
Tunji,
Yeah.
Ji means to awake,
Yeah,
right?
Ji.
Tun means to come back again, right? Like Tun Pada, like Tun.
Otsupadade, okay.
Right.
So
Come back.
So this is like, it was Daddy that named it, or was it like a change that eventually transitioned? Or it's always been that name from
It's
the
always been
establishment?
Oyo Tunji, but in New York, it was the Yoruba temple, then it was the Shango temple.
Okay,
And then after Shango Temple, it was Oyo Tunji.
okay, great.
Yes. And so Baba chose the name because, remember, in New York, people, especially colonizers, taught us that when you move and steal somebody's land, you change it to New whatever you came from. So you got York. Yeah? You had it was Amsterdam before it was New York. New Amsterdam, now it's New York.
Okay.
We know what York was. New Jersey. Jersey was the Queen's Port, where the British Navy were held up in Europe. So that's why they call it New Jersey.
New Jersey.
And they have a lot of military bases and Coast Guard and all kind of stuff is in New Jersey, right? So Baba wanted to do the same thing. So when they were in New York, at the Yoruba Temple, they called New York, or New York City, they called it New Oyo. In their minds, it's New Oyo, New York City. Chicago and Gary, Indiana was called Ijalumi. Philadelphia and other parts of New England were called Ile-Ife. Yeah? So basically, before Baba established Oyo Tunji, they had remade America for themselves. They didn't call it New York, they called it, New Oyo.
New Oyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't call it Chicago, they called it Ijalumi. So Baba was a part of a group that wanted to take over 5 states in America. They wanted to take over South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. 5 states. It was called the Republic of New Africa. They had put together a lot of guns, a lot of weapons, and they were going to take back these states from the Europeans because they should have gave it to us after slavery, which they did, but they took it back. So, most parts of the Gullah Geechee in South Carolina belong to black people for I think about a year, and they took it back. All of this belonged to black people for about a year, and Calhoun, Oyimbo took it back.
More like giving you a taste and then taking it right
Take it
back.
right away.
We're still in charge. We dangle this in front of you.
Jangle it in front of you and take it back.
Right.
And so here at Oyo Tunji, we had to call it New Oyo.
New Oyo.
This is New Oyo. It's Oduduwa village. We are children of Oduduwa. Ilu Oyo Tunji, Abule Oyo Tunji, Ilu Oduduwa.
Right.
Right? The town of Oyo Tunji, the land of Oduduwa in America. And so remember, it has a very vast history. Oyo was the empire builders.
True.
It doesn't mean that Ife and all these places, they were not empire builders. Oyo were empire builders. They would stretch the kingdom from all the way. That's my sister, Odiwede. She's they stretched the kingdom all the way from what we call present day, all the way 3/4 of West Africa. Huh? So that's why you find Yoruba religion in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire,
Yeah.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Huh? You're going to find talking drum, you're going to find dashiki. All these things are indicative of Yoruba culture. They did not exist before Yoruba people came there. And that is the product of King Shango, who expanded the kingdom, took the kingdom all the way 3/4 of West Africa. So that is why we want to venerate Oyo, because it represents for us a power source, a political hegemony. It represents for us a religious foundation, a powerful nation. You know, black people like to be associated with powerful stuff, you know. You talk about Ife back in the days, all you can really do is talk about, religion, spirit, the land was made here, terracotta, Okpara, Miyan, blah, blah, blah. But Oyo, we want to be like these guys.
I know, right.
And so there's always been a rift, though, between why Oyotunji was named Oyotunji and not Ife Tunji or Ile Ife, this, that, or the third, because Ife is the source. And it's just what Baba named. Baba was Baba's choice. You know?
Okay.
When you resurrect the language of your ancestors, when you resurrect the clothing of your ancestors, the shrines, the temples, the festivals, the music, the dance, when you do that, you can call the shots. And you become the king. So Baba he didn't set out to be a king of the Yoruba in North America. He just wanted to go and establish an African village so that schools can come, people can come and be educated. The people of the village came up with this Oba stuff because they would just call him Baba Osejaman. Baba is a Ghana. He got his first name from Ghana, Osejaman, which means savior of the people.
Savior of the people.
In Ashanti, right? And so, or Twi language. And so, what was I going with that? I just blanked out.
We're talking about how the Abba.
Right.
Title.
Right.
The title.
So
how
he was
it
just
came.
Baba Osejaman.
Yeah.
Just Baba Osejaman. So one day Baba said that he was in this is the second village. The old village used to be over here, much smaller. And they moved to this spot later. Baba said that one morning he heard gunshots. He thought it was the Ku Klux Klan finally coming to run the villagers off, run them back to New York. Because they always threaten to burn the village down and stuff. But you can go out there and see our old sign in the parking lot. It's got gunshots in it. It's got axes chopped in it. So we had to deal with that a long time, a lot back in the days. So, but the point is that Baba did not make himself king. The people did. So those gunshots and firecrackers was basically the townspeople coming out in celebration. And he said he came out the door, they were singing, and they told him to sit in the chair and put an idea on his head and say, from this day forward, we're going to make you our king. Because they had already had the temples, they had chiefs, they had Ogboni, they had all type of Yoruba, Ijoba institutions already established, except the Obas. So they made Baba the Oba. And from that day forward, that was 1974. Then Baba went to Ile Ife in 1981 to a conference of Yoruba people, the first conference of Yoruba people in the world, Yoruba religion in the world. So Baba goes to Ile Ife, and when he gets to Ile Ife, he delivers a paper and starts showing pictures and slides and videos of what he's doing in America.
The village, right.
Everybody shocked. They couldn't believe it. Especially back in those days, the population of Oyotunji was much, much, much higher than it was. And our parents were a bit more serious about what they did because it was coming out of the civil rights movements and, black power, black people, let's move. And so my father came and the people just took to it. They just took to it. And so the beauty of it all is that now you got other people wanting to establish villages and things across America. There's different Obas all over America, but very few have villages, but they like the title. It seems cute, it's fun, it's attractive. Right? But the point of Oyotunji was to make that title work.
Yes.
Make it work. Show people how it works and how it moves and how African government can work. Okay, but you have to have land to do it. And so Baba didn't make himself king. He was chosen by his people. And then when Oni of Ife saw him in 1981, Oni of Ife said, oh my God, bring this guy to my palace. I got to crown him as Oba of the Diaspora, you know, and so that was 1981. And so, but I always tell people, Baba was Oba 11 years. Oyotunji had been established, well established by the time Oni got a hold of my dad. And so,
Yeah, that's great. And so, your dad got crowned as the king as the Oba in 1972, and then after was transitioned to. Yeah, and he was crowned the Oba in 1972.
74.
74, my apologies. And then went to Ife in 81. And yeah, so how did they transition then up until where we are right now? Like, what are the milestones and how did it become like, how did you get to grace you as being
Well, first, the only way you're able to grace us today and grace the KBC and the milestones of Oyotunji, you know, you have to go back to my mother, of course. She came to Oyotunji. She was married when she came to Oyotunji. You know, and in Yoruba culture, a man can have as many wives as he wants at one time, and a woman can have as many husbands as she wants, just one at a time.
That's true. I wish I'm
Just
sure.
one at a time.
Okay. I'm sure
And
that
so
women
my
would
mother
do that.
came and she was just satisfied with the husband she was with.
Okay.
And so in the Yoruba culture, if you leave your husband's house, you have to be billeted in the Afin. So basically you have to go join the Afin, the king's household. I mean, Afin is huge, so it's a bunch of space. And so you go and do that, and my mom did that. She moved up to the Afin, and then slowly but surely, her and my father had an attraction, and they married. And here I am. So the milestones have been Oyotunji's reputation, going from, what's the word? From an unbelievable thing to something that actually exists. You know, we went through our deceptive stage when people were deceptive about the concept and can it work and would it be past that stage. And then Oyotunji, we helped to democratize African tradition and culture in North America, which means that everybody could benefit, everybody could use it. You know, just like Uber did for taxis, Oyotunji did for the culture. Uber democratized transportation. Everybody could just drive somebody somewhere. Airbnb did it for hotels and stayovers. Oyotunji democratized Yoruba culture so that everybody could have a way to do it. We gave you a foundational a way to think in terms of African culture. It's always coming from Oyotunji. So if you go places in North America, you're going to see people with temples and shrines, and they're going to be dressed in Yoruba clothes. And where did they learn that from? Oyotunji and Oba Waja, Oba Koko. Oyotunji was featured, I think, in so many TV shows and magazines that helped to promote Yoruba culture nationwide. And so there's probably thousands of people who've seen Oyotunji. Oprah Winfrey saw it on Lifetime Channel, read about it in Time Magazine, Newsweek Magazine, To Tell the Truth, PM Magazine, NBC, ABC, Connie Chung, and I can go ahead and Phil Donahue. The list goes on and on and on. I'd like to talk about, Oyotunji's media representation, because in America, if you ain't been on TV, nobody want to hear your story. It's just America. So I can tell you how long Oyotunji been on television and media for at least 20 minutes. You see, since I've been in the kingdom, I've participated in several movies, helped produce things with BBC and Hollywood. They just had a Netflix special, and so Oyotunji helped to advertise Yoruba culture nationwide.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It helped to advertise Yoruba culture nationwide. And Baba was able to create in the minds of black people, a way out of colonization. And Oyotunji didn't have electricity for many years. So the fact that you can go out there and flip a switch, or you can go to the bathroom and turn on some hot water and take a shower is a luxury. With black people, develop themselves from no electricity to electricity, no running water to running water, outhouses to actual toilets you could flush, development.
Yeah.
Oyotunji continues to develop. And so there is no end game, no goal we're trying to reach. We just want to continue to develop. We want to be busy and also see the fruits of our business, fruits of our labor. And so Oyotunji just continues to develop. And the beauty for me is I get to meet so many wonderful people just like yourselves. But then people come to move to Oyotunji, they have no concept of African anything. Most people don't know that Oyotunji helped to show America that to be African is to have Iwa Pele, Iwa Keri, Iwa Dada, good character, and all these wonderful Omoluabi and all these wonderful things, you see. Those are concepts in our tradition that black people have no idea of. And there are a lot of people today get initiated, go to Africa, become Babalawo, and have no concept of Omoluabi or Agbasanko. So the Yoruba tradition that Baba brought to America, he helped to package it for the American black mind, which no other people can do for us. No other people can do it.
That's true.
Nigerians and Cameroonians and people from Jamaica always come and try to design something for black people. It's not going to work.
It's not. Sure.
You can jump on a plane and go to Africa as many times as you want, but without the concept of African culture, cultural values, whether you're in the rainforest, the desert, the plateau, or the savannas, African values are the same. We call it Africanity.